Welcome back to Serving Up. In this week's episode, I speak to somebody who's making a genuine, measurable difference in the world of sport. In England Squash's recent winner of the Diversity and Inclusion Award for 2025, Sally Archibald, founder of Girls in Motion. From a first junior meet in 2023 to becoming a national charity focused on building confidence and community and creating proper pathways for women and girls to still be involved in sport and to play a sport they will love. Girls in Motion has become one of the positive forces in England squash, and we talk about participation, retention, coaching, visibility, and the small cultural shifts that make a huge impact on who stays in the game. Before we get into it, a big thank you to our sponsors, ACC Leisure, who are helping secure the future of leisure in the UK, and of course to all of the UK racket pioneers since 1938. Get your racket from the specialists. Okay, let's dive in. This is Serving Up with our Sally Archibald. Hi, morning, Sally. You okay?
Morning, Shaun.
You well?
I am, thank you. Yeah, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Are you using a fake background?
I'm not. This is the real deal.
It's way too clean of a home. You've got little ones as well, haven't you?
I've got a daughter. Yeah, she's not allowed in that bit.
Okay, that explains it. That makes total sense now. Total sense now. And I can see you wearing the extremely appropriate top that we're going to be talking about most of today. They're Girls in Motion.
I am. I'm collecting them now. We've got quite a few from all our events. So it's very proud of these tops. I'm in them quite often. So this one, seeing which one. This is our spring meet 2025. I quite like the colour. It's quite autumnal. Don't know why we do it for spring, but it will look good for today.
I say I'm colourblind, so anything looks nice to me. Anything looks nice to me. Yeah, because you've done quite a few of the events now, haven't you?
Yeah, so it's been really busy. Just reflecting on that, and actually our first event that we did, which was a junior meet, was back in summer 2023. So it's over 2 years ago now. I always think of it's like fairly recent, but it's over 2 years ago for the first one. And the junior meets, because it was really popular from that first event, that we've hosted one pretty much every 6 months. That's now the rhythm that we've got into. So yeah, we've just completed our fifth one in autumn 2025, which was another fantastic day with a lot of girls who'd been before, who'd seen their development through it as well. And now some of the older ones that are coaching rather than participating. And a lot of new ones coming in as well. Some of them the first time. We're also seeing girls come in at an older age as well for the first time, which is lovely, because that's one of the things we found, that in the teenage years a lot of girls fall off. They certainly don't start, and they want to find a sport or move from another sport if that one's not working out for them. So it was lovely to see some new faces as well as some old ones as well.
Yeah, good. No, I say, well, we will get more and more into Girls in Motion. I do want to talk about how you first got into squash, though, because I know you just said they're older girls coming into the sport. You didn't do squash yourself as a child, did you?
I didn't know. I was not a junior squash player. As much as I would love to be a junior squash player, I didn't even know that was a thing at that point. I do remember, I've always liked squash, and I remember it's like the late 80s, early 90s, and my dad used to play, and my brother, who's a lot older, used to play as well, and he used to beg to take me to the squash court. But I think all they wanted to do was play squash and go for a beer. So I think I was a bit in the way rather than, but they let us on for a little bit and then they chuck us off and get on with their game. And I didn't realise that junior girls could play. It was all men really playing and then going to the bar for their social afterwards. And so I always liked it. I loved the idea of it, enjoyed the sport. But then it's like, who do you play? If you don't know anyone in it, you've got no one to play, and you're certainly not getting better. Certainly didn't realize you get coaching. So really, apart from playing in leisure centres with a friend when I found one for a little bit, I didn't really get into it until about 7 years ago, where I moved to Ancoats in Manchester. I split up with my daughter's father, and I had a bit of free time and had a bit of baby weight and wanted to do something for myself. And I found a women's beginner session at the National Squash Centre, which is just around the corner from me. So I'm very lucky in that respect. And this provided that opening for me to go in and go, oh, actually, there are other women playing. The coaching is a thing, and that is for me. And there's much more to it than I thought there was. So that's how I started getting into it, and then quickly realised that there was a lot of missing pieces as well that we could, that would make it even better. Like, it's a great sport, want to play it, but even at that point where I'm in this beginners women's session and I've got everything I've dreamed of, but there's not that many women, and some of the ability level's not quite there. A lot of the time I'm just on my own on the court with the coach, which sounds great, but you want to share this experience with other people. Coach might not have cared much about women's squash as well. There might have been a bit of disinterest, and some of the days I wanted to come away crying.
So was there a singular moment then, or by the sounds of it, there was a collection of moments that made you think, right, I can step up here and do more?
Yeah, sure. And unfortunately, it's never as simple as a single moment, is it? But it is that building and that feeling. Another thing I've reflected on recently, there was a woman there at the National Squash Centre who also played at City of Manchester, called Justine, and I hadn't really thought about it much before, but she was actually instrumental to me continuing playing, getting more involved, wanting to get better. She liked playing for herself, but she also liked being part of the team at the City of Manchester, and there was a group of women who formed teams there at that point. And she was really that glue that held everyone together, and offered you games, would go and play even though she was loads better than you, and but she'd never show it. She'd always have a good game with you and make you feel good about you on the court and the sport. And yeah, she was involved in the LGBTQ plus community there as well, because there's Northern Rebound plays out at National Squash Centre. They've got a great community, and so it all felt really inclusive, and she was the one that brought everyone together. So I think it took a lot from what she did to me to then get more involved and give more back to the sport.
So how long was it from when you restarted your journey to starting Girls in Motion? Was it pretty quick, or was it quite a while before you set it up?
Yeah, so it's probably been playing for about 5 years. I quickly got involved in City of Manchester club that operates out of the Squash Centre. As I said, they did have women's teams, so that's great. There was already the setup there. It was already promoted by the club. So, it was an easy ride there to integrate in. So I started integrating into the leagues, playing competitively for the first time, meeting a lot of other women in other clubs as well. This is one of the things over the 5 years, like, you do start to get to know people, but it's so infrequent that you're really siloed as clubs, even in the same league. And some of the women have been playing for 40 years in this league, and they know some people, but it's not that integrated. So I was doing that for quite a while, and I thought this can be a little bit better. Feels like there's something missing. I felt like we were all apologising for the league a lot rather than celebrating it. It's late nights. It's long travel distances, and it's like, well, I want to do it, but it feels like I'm saying, oh, sorry, you're going to have to travel far. So I just think it could be better. So I joined the committee on what it was the Cheshire Ladies Squash League, which is now the North West Women's Squash League. So I joined the committee to get more involved and to see what it was. And, as you open one door, another one opens, and off you go. And And so I felt like there was a lot of the same complaints from the women of going, oh, it's not for me. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't commit that time. Oh, I don't feel welcome here. And oh, I've got no one to play. So I thought we could do something about this. So in which case, I started getting more and more involved. And then it was really my daughter getting involved and my partner's children getting involved, and realizing that it's not just for the women. The girls don't have anyone to play, and they're there and they enjoy it, but they don't know anyone in the game. And women and girls like to play with women and girls, and they like to have that community. And if you're just trying to get a little girl on a court on her own, I mean, there are the exceptions, but most of them are not having a good time. So the first event, as I mentioned before, was a junior meet, which was an idea that came out of all these girls in isolation. We're like, oh, we'll just get them together. We'll get them together for a big event and show them what squash is, what it can be. It's not just getting battered on court. It's not just playing boys. It's about community, and it's about training together and socializing together afterwards. And so we put on this event. We weren't quite sure what the outcome would be, but it was actually exceeded all our expectations. We had 40 plus girls from about 20 clubs, which goes to show how isolated some of them were.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone. And it was about inviting the parents and making sure that they're watching them as well. It wasn't like a come and drop your kids off. It was a big family affair, and everyone got involved. And the feedback was just fantastic. And they all got a shirt to wear with their names on their back. And we heard stories about them taking it into school for show and tell. And they were so proud of it. And you could see that, like, in little clubs, you could see them with the shirts on. And then we're like, right, this is fantastic. Let's do more. Let's form a charity so we can do more. We can build more. And off it went.
So what was the first event called then, if you hadn't set up the Girls in Motion charity, or did you already have the name?
So we called the event Girls in Motion, which might have caused a little bit of confusion once we then used that name for the charity. So
oh gosh, just seamlessly linked.
It is, but they're like, isn't that for juniors? I'm like, oh no, it's the charity name now. So it's Girls in Motion is our brand, is our charity. That's the umbrella of all the stuff we do for women and girls. And with the junior events that we do a lot of events, and we're always trying to create new things. So it's hard to say this is what we do. But the junior events that we have been doing, that we've done 5 of at the National Squash Centre, are called the Junior Meets. We've also partnered with other clubs to deliver junior meets as well, which is really exciting. Hunts County were the front runners in that, took the baton and did a fantastic job last year. And we've got the Buckinghamshire coming up with one at the end of November as well.
So going from the early events to now, what's been the most surprising thing you've learned from doing them all, other than, sort of like you said, you've had 40 girls, 20 clubs showing the sparsity. Was there anything other surprising things that popped up?
I think it was the surprise. Well, there's a number of them. It might not be that surprising to other people, but just they've been really popular, and it's and got the take up, and some people just get it. But there's quite a lot of convincing that it's for them, even though we go, this is a women's event for beginner women, and it's like, even then I get calls and like, oh, is it for me though? And like yes, it is for you. So I think it's just that. I think the surprising thing is how much confidence boosting you had to do, how much selling you had to do of it. I think things I thought would be obvious weren't as obvious, but I think that's just human nature and communication. So I've learned a lot more about communicating with people and marketing, and saying that if you don't make sure it's recorded and got the photos, then did it happen? And you're selling it as much afterwards as you are before. So I think that was a big learn for me, and I was surprised at how much is around the event. The event itself is a short period of time, which is fantastic, but for us, it's how much we have to do around it as well.
Does that sort of increase the more and more events you've done? You've realized, oh, we should actually do this next time, and then added things in that way as well?
Yeah, we're definitely learning from each one that we do, which is good. And we do rely a lot on volunteers as well. So there's a lot of volunteer management within the charity, which as you'd expect. And it's fantastic. We've had a fantastic response from loads of people for parents who want to come and help, to people who want to be trustees, to professional squash players such as Tesney Murphy, who gave us cracking endorsements and has been involved in a couple of events. She was involved in one of the junior ones, loved it so much, and came and volunteered for a women's one at the PSA Open at Manchester the following month. So it's just been amazing with everyone who wants to get involved.
Yeah, so you've had quite a few people, like Tesney and professionals get involved, haven't you? I've known Tesney from when we were juniors, but you've had people like Lowry Roberts was at the last event. You've had Laura Massaro involved. Obviously, as you know, I was at the event in October, and it was great seeing like Nick Matthew bring his daughter there, and so you're getting quite a lot of endorsements from those. Was that surprising to you? Was it a shock, or?
It's lovely, and yeah, I guess this, from speaking to Tesney especially, and how enthused she was about it, and I think it's her comments about, I had nothing like this. I wish I had something like this when I was growing up, and to show like her story, like she's a professional squash player. She's been on the pathway. She was playing squash, whatever, but there's probably loads of people who've fallen away as well. But for Tesney, it must have been pretty lonely, that you're moving up on your own as well. And where's that community for you? Like we're not in our events, we're not producing world champions. That's not what it's about.
Yet.
It's about
Yet.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a few girls who come up for it, and hopefully have stayed in the sport and retain that love for it. Maybe in the future we're going to.
You say that. I know one of the young girls who came to your last session, Maeve Lovely. She recently won the British Under-9s.
She did. That was fantastic.
So you say. I mean, granted, it's Under-9, so she has a long way to go. But if you can start, in my opinion, that's going to be the important thing about what you do. Is not just the numbers. There'll be girls who can think, I can do it to this level, and because they came to your community sessions, there might be 3 or 4 of them that sort of get together and push each other and get there possibly.
Yeah. Do you know what? You've reminded me something there, is that we do see some pockets of girls that they aren't in the same clubs, but they're playing like county together, Inspire together, and it's when you've got that critical mass of about 6 girls, and they wouldn't have known each other. Well, they would have met each other, but they wouldn't have known each other for the friendships if it wasn't for the junior meets. And you can see them moving up now, moving through the age brackets and challenging each other, and they're fighting out for the same spaces. And then you see other age brackets where there's not quite enough girls, and there's not that competition. They're not getting better because they're not pushing each other. So yeah, I can see what you mean. Like there is that pathway as well, that we could hopefully encourage some girls to stay in it, and who will then challenge other girls and then push them forward and within the pathway. But our main focus is about participation.
Getting the numbers up.
Getting the numbers up. So we, as a charity, charitable objects are to create opportunities for women and girls to participate in squash, and that's what all of our events and initiatives are aiming to achieve, and will achieve, because that's what we're funneling into. And so in terms of participation, it's those creating the opportunities to participate and then stay in the sport. That's where we found that it's been a lot harder, actually, because you can get someone to try it, but it's how do you keep them in the sport after that? And there's a lot of work that needs to be done around the infrastructure to make that happen. We've got 4 pillars within Girls in Motion. As we started it, the charity, we started a framework of how we were going to deliver our objects, and we came up with 4 pillars that have been refreshed over the year, but we're fairly happy with them now, which is participation, so providing an opportunity to try squash, to get involved. Retention, which is a hard one, to give them a space to play. And then we've got competition, which is introducing that competitive element, but ultimately redefining what that means. It's not what we all think the mixed league night is. It's not your weekend graded opens. It's something different, and it's designed for women. And then the final one, which really encompasses everything, is leadership, and creating those opportunities for women to have leadership positions within the sport. And that gives women skills far beyond the sport and into their own lives as well, whether that's looking after kids or in their work as well, or with their relationships. So we think this is a winning strategy of how to deliver it. But with the retention, we're really focusing on giving that space to play, because what I found is it's all right bringing new people in, but if they've got nowhere to go there, they're just falling out. So really focusing on, for the next couple of years, in that space of let's create a wonderful ecosystem of squash opportunities for women and girls to come and play in.
You mentioned going a bit beyond, and you've helped other clubs. How have you helped them instill those pillars and put on their own sort of like mini Girls in Motion events?
Yeah, so we've been talking to a number of clubs. We found that people have liked what we've done and get in contact and go, can we do something like this? And so how we work with the clubs is we have a call with them, get to know what their club is like, and then help them set something up that's appropriate for their club, their region, and it's what they want to achieve out of it. So some want participation. They want like, we don't have any female members. How do we get some female members? And in which case we can, and that is a lot harder one. That is from nothing. That is a lot harder. But what that takes is really an engaged committee, a committee that's going to take away any physical monetary barriers away, which I think most people are up for it. They're not trying to stop females coming in. It just needs to change slightly, and need to allow change to happen within the club setting. And you need a dedicated coach, preferably a female coach, but a dedicated coach to come and deliver those sessions week by week, and allow the women to create their own community within the club. I think that's really important, that you can create an environment, but you're not creating the community. The women who come are creating the community.
Do you find the coach thing being quite an important thing? Because I know in my club we set up a ladies' night, but the only coaches were male. We did have a young woman who was progressing to do with coaching, but GCSEs, college, things get in the way. How important is it to have the coach be female? What's the differences you see?
I think it is important, but if you don't have a female coach, a male coach is fine.
Yeah. Coach is better than no coach. Yeah,
no coach.
Yeah.
It is important to a lot of women to have that comfort around who's coaching them, and the coach is the confidant, the coach is the mentor, the coach is not just telling you how to hold a racket, it's encouraging you on court, it's understanding the person. I think I had that misconception on coaching, which is why I thought it's not for me. And then I went and did my coaching qualification and realised what they taught you was how to connect with people and how to encourage them in a way that suits them, how to teach them in a way that suits them, whether that's visual or try it out or demonstrate. There's lots of different ways, and it is just about that building confidence as well. So although a female coach, a lot of women will feel more comfortable with a female coach, and some women will only feel comfortable with a female coach. I think a good male coach is also really good. I mean, you can get bad female coaches as well, I guess. But I think if there's a female coach, women will be more confident. As we know, within the world of squash, there doesn't seem to be that confidence in that the women stepping on court for the first time, as in comparison to a man stepping on court for the first time. So a female coach would just ease that in. And I think there's no real, as I said before, there's no real physical barriers. There's just loads of subtle cultural barriers, and having a female coach might get that extra 2 women in, that extra 2 involved, and they might then encourage some other women, or that brings you to critical mass that now your group can actually survive and move forward rather than it dying away after a couple of months because it doesn't quite pay the bills. So I think the female coach can be quite important quietly.
That's it. You mentioned that 6 quite a few times now in terms of being important. Is that something you've learned over the 5 years, that 6 is that magic number of women that keeps it going?
Oh, that's very perceptive of you, Shaun. Do you know what? I didn't realise I'd said 6. 6 to 8, I would say, was critical mass for making sure that something is going to carry on. That group of women that are going to support each other, and when a couple can't make it one week, you've still got enough to get the session going. So I'm going to revise that to 6 to 8.
You're going to revise that to 6 to 8. 6 to 8.
Yeah, I think that's we have seen that, and the same with the girls. If 3's not quite enough to keep it going. 4, I was going to say the even number doesn't work, but that contradicts what I was saying before. So yeah, I'd say around there you've got a good group that's going to keep itself going for a little bit. It'll still need tweaks here and there. It still needs support, but you've got this growing community then that can push forward.
And out of all the clubs you've helped, what's the worst thing you've seen, and what's the best thing you've seen that you've gone, actually, I'm going to steal that? I'll start with the best. So working with Hunts County was really eye-opening. The setup that they've got there is great because it's a commercial setup. There's a company that runs out of the club that does all the coaching, that does fitness, that does nutrition, and they can see the benefits of getting more women in, because it's better for the community, it's better for the longevity of the club. You've got 50% of people there that they're not participating, so get them participating, and get the girls in, and then the girls in, the parents are in. So what I saw there was just beautiful seeing how it all worked. They were like, there's no hesitation, we're going to put this on. Yeah, of course we can get sponsorship. It wasn't like, how we're going to pay for it, which is what we hear quite a bit, because someone's got to pay for it. There's a ticket price, but we like to keep it low, but I'll go into that separately. And they've got people to sponsor it. Just ask, and people will sponsor, because people want this to happen. They want their daughters to do something. They want this environment creating. They want to diversify the club, and they fed back to us afterwards on all the benefits that they got as a club. So they got the dads there that brought their daughters, were asking for one-to-one coaching for themselves and their daughters. They got the daughters sliding up to half-term clubs because they loved it so much, and they've got coaches that young female coaches that were getting coaching experience, and with Tanya Bailey, who was also there as a coach as well. So they got coached by Tanya as well as part of it, and I think but the best thing was just that they just got it. It's like, I can see how this is going to benefit everyone.
I can't see any barriers. Let's just do it.
They were just all in.
Just all in, and it was just beautiful to watch, and they got what they wanted out of it. But they did have a lot of things in place. So the half-term club was already there, so the girls could go to it. They were already set up to do one-on-one coaching, so they could do it. So I think that to me was a bit of an eye-opener of like, yeah, because you need these things in place to then funnel people through. Worse things, I think.
Without naming names. No
names. So we generally get approached by clubs that want to do stuff and want to help. So, but so a couple of anecdotes of, we'd love to have a women's session. I said, great, women in the Northwest play on a Monday night. Oh, we can't do Monday night because Bill and Jim play on a Monday night. I'm like, oh, okay. So, going to sacrifice the whole women's session for 2 members, and I think that's the short-sightedness. Or
did you really have just like 2 members, and they were just like, we wouldn't do it for 2 members?
No, I heard that anecdote from someone, and I think that might have gone away now. But it was a good anecdote of like, and you can feel it, can't you? It's like, yeah, of course we want women in, but we're not going to change a thing of what we do. So I think that's where the clubs need to, if they want to make change, they've got to accept change. I think that's where it comes down to.
That the biggest challenge with the clubs is the change.
I think that's a big challenge for everyone, really. It's so complex because a club could mean a lot of different things. Like where I am, we're a community club that runs out of leisure centre, but then there's many private member clubs that have multi-sports, and then there's many private member clubs that have 2 squash courts and they're just run by a couple of people who volunteer at the time. So it's really hard to say this is the problem with the clubs. Like a lot of them are run on volunteer basis, and in fact most of them are run on volunteer basis. So and it's hard to say you're not being inclusive. It's like, well, they're trying to be inclusive, and you grow what you can. But it's dead hard to move culture, and especially when it's volunteer led and it's not commercially led.
Yeah, very, very difficult. Like you say, when you mentioned the other club being commercially and having all these things in place, it's every club isn't on the same footing, is it?
No, commercial clubs can move in ways that community clubs can't.
Yeah.
Money talks. What's your club like, Shaun?
Our club's gotten a lot better. We were very fortunate to get a grant a couple of years ago from Sport Wales to help push a ladies' night and getting more girls involved. So from a junior side of thing, we've got more girls than boys now. So long term, we're looking at it going, this is going to, hopefully look good. And then we've got a few, like you're saying, with the older kids, then we've had a couple that have joined when they're like 16, 17, but now they're starting now to bring their friend.
Yeah.
So
right.
we're starting to see that now. So we're getting, like, our Monday night used to be, that's our club night, and we do a ladies on another night. But like on the club night, it'd just be the boys, so to speak. And then somebody went, oh, can my daughter come? And we were like, yeah, that's fine. And then she brought a friend, then the friend brought a friend. So, we've ended up now, we've got like 3 ladies coming consistently on a Monday, but that's just during like a general club night. So we're starting out to see, and hopefully as the years go on, and hopefully we can keep the juniors in as well, then start backfeeding that with the people coming through. My daughter's 4 and is constantly nagging me. So I'm hoping she'll start bringing a few people when she's old enough to give it a go properly. But we'll wait to see. I'm very fortunate where our sports centre is. We've got a school that's a 5-minute walk one way, school that's about a 15-minute walk the other way. Then the high school is right next door. We've got a special needs school right next door. So it's very easy access to get there. So, this, now that we've had the investment from Sport Wales, and we've just had a local council one for juniors as well to get more juniors in. So it's regular times we can go like, yeah, if you bring your daughter in, it's going to be free for like 6 months. So there's absolutely no reason for them not to come because it's free.
Yeah. So how are you getting these funds then? Are you applying for them?
Yeah, I'm applying for them myself. I'll come up with a plan of, right, well, we want to go into these schools. We're doing our sessions on a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday. And yeah, we're going into the schools with mini squash nets. Going, right, come to these clubs, it's free. But then what we've also had is like members contribute as well. So once the kids have been for, we say like 5 or 6 sessions, we want to sort of like get them hooked. We'll also give them a free club shirt.
Nice.
So we find that, you've said it with the Girls in Motion, like we don't put their names on the back, but they'll have our club logo is a map of Anglesey with a dragon on, and it's got like a couple of rackets and a squash ball on it. But it's their top then. And they tend, once they get to 5 or 6 sessions, they 80-90% of the time they tend to keep coming back for more.
That's great. And you highlighted something there, just being, because you're heavily involved as a club activator and you're making things happen at that club. And I think is such an important role, but in a lot of volunteer-based clubs, it is hard to get that person who's gonna create change and gonna create impact within it.
Yeah, well, I say, and it's not to make near, but like you say, every club needs one sort of person to push everything along, rather than, and I see it with some of the clubs around here like this, like just enough members for their teams, and it's like, yeah, the club night's the club night, and then it's like, right, well, what about juniors? What about getting people more involved? Like we have it's either 6 or 7 clubs in our league, 3 of which have a junior club. So, let alone talking about getting more girls involved, this getting the next level, the next generation involved as well. And that's, we've seen the numbers for squash decline. Go totally off topic now, but we've seen the numbers for squash decline. And for me, it's neglecting the next people coming through. Like my club, I only joined it in 2014. So it was 42 years old at that point, still didn't have a junior club. So myself and another gentleman set up the junior clubs in 2018. So all in all, 46 years, there was no junior club.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of work to do it, doesn't it? And
it does take a lot of work to do, yeah. And there'll be other clubs out there without the junior section, and it is probably just my kids are coming in. But if we want to preserve squash, people need to be putting in the effort. Yeah.
Well, that's when you have kids, the junior section is dead important, isn't it? So it is about getting the dads and the mums with the kids who love squash, is to get your kids involved. But it has to be good, doesn't it? Because there's plenty of things for kids to do. So why squash over the football, over the badminton, over what else they want to do, the gymnastics? There's a lot to compete with. Yes. And I think that's when, so my daughter has actually stopped playing now. I did ruin it for her. I wasn't very nice to her on the court. Turns out you can't coach your own children. So that was a lesson learned as well. But she wants to be involved in Girls in Motion, and she desperately wants to be involved in the coaching side of it. She loves that.
Right. So she's not left then, is she?
It's not quite. Not quite. I forgot where I was going with that one now.
So you talk about your daughter involved with the coaching and.
Yeah, so getting the parents involved. I think there's a lot of parents who sit in the sideline would love to be involved, and I think it's just showing them opportunities to do it. And again, with that coaching going, it's not, you don't have to be good at squash to do coaching. You've got to be connecting with the person. You've got to get them on court. And so I think a lot of people could do it. So one of the things that Girls in Motion are doing is we've got a fund that we've allocated to support women to do coaching qualifications, and it'd been great. We had 15 women applying 2025, and then off they go and get the coaching qualifications. Because of the change around with England squash this year, it has been lagged a bit, but a number of them have done their old level 1, and there's a level 2 coming up as well. So it's just providing more female coaches, depending on what they do with it. It'd be great if they go and activate something in their club, but to provide that more female coaches, they'll organically be coaching people around the squash courts, whether that's in women's league or in their own club or in the junior section. And I think then just showing that other women, it is a pathway. Even in my own club, I've been saying to my team for a long time, and we've got a strong team, as in strong as in numbers, because we've got a big team. It's like just come and do the coaching. Just come. No, I can't. I'm not good enough. I'm like, but you're great at encouraging your teammates on the league night. Like, why can't you come and do the coaching? And so I think it's the convincing that they can actually do it. But what we found with the few women who have already done it, they're getting involved in our events. You can see them activating things in their own club, and that's just that the small tweaks are now going to grow and grow exponentially, because we'll get more and more women involved. And in that coaching side, more women will see more women, because it's all about the visibility. You say, oh, well, that woman does it, so I can do it. It'd be hard for the woman to say, oh, that man does it, so I'm going to do it. It has to be a woman to get that visibility piece. And yeah, we'll have more and more coaching. So we've seen it in the Northwest. A lot of our stuff is in the Northwest because I'm based in Manchester, but we're certainly not limited to the Northwest, and it is with an English charity, so we are a national charity.
I think that is really important, you mentioning about the seeing somebody, like, there's other charities, I forget the name, but I know it's to do with helping the Muslim community get more involved with squash. But like you've just said there, nobody looks at somebody totally the opposite to them and go, oh yeah, like that. Like we went we took the kids on holiday to Disney last week, and you could see everybody was the princess they dressed up as was the princess that was there closest to their culture. And I think it's very similar to if a little girl sees another woman playing, they can associate themselves, and I can do that. And I think that's far more important than, like you say, seeing a bloke that they don't know. They're not going to make an instant connection, rather than if they go, oh, I saw that, like my little girl's got like curly hair. If she goes, oh, that curly hair is playing squash, or I wonder if I could, it's that association that I think is going to be quite important.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the visibility of female sports is growing. It is getting more positive, but the visibility of female squash players, like a few years ago when desperately trying to find some stock image to put on a poster for something, female squash players, girl squash players, I mean, yeah, you got your pros in that, but the barely any there. And I think England squash had done a good job at getting some stock pictures out for their Squash Girls Can, so people could actually use a picture of a woman playing squash, but there wasn't any there. So we, with the support of the United Squash Foundation, we've been focusing on really making our events visible. So we're actually a Squash for Development organisation now as well. So we've been acknowledged there, and so we are supported by the Squash United Foundation, and they have supported us from the very start in providing us with media team to do us videos, to send out stories, because they could see that value of making sure that this is visible. We're doing something big and something bold that's not been done before. Let's make it visible. And we wouldn't have got there on our own, or not very quickly. Still don't have quite the camera capabilities of Squash TV. And so that was instrumental for our cause, for what we're doing, to make sure that it's seen, the pictures look good, the girls can see themselves with like Tesney, having an knock with Tesney. They've now got a photo of them wearing the same shirt as Tesney Evans playing squash against her. Like that is just gold.
That's such a big thing, though, isn't it? You know, she's won the British Championship multiple times. She's gotten to the top 10. You know, they say they met her. They've got the same clothes as her. You know, hopefully there'll be a few of them saying, "Well, if she can do it, I can keep playing, and I can play with my friends and all that." But you know, I mean, you one of my questions was about the United Foundation. How did that come about? Did you approach them? They approach you?
So do you know what? It's all about networking, isn't it, Shaun?
Yes, it is.
That's another thing I found out very, very quickly. As a budding charity, that happened to coincide of us just getting started. Happened to coincide with the PSA Foundation, as they were known then, the squash conference that they put on in Birmingham in 2024, and so Tom, my fellow trustee, and I went down for a couple of days, thought this would be great, what a great networking opportunity. And boy, was it. It had opened up this world of squash. And we were tiny little charity, not even got a charity status. But we were suddenly exposed to all these influential people in squash. Got these fantastic stories from around the world, like Open Squash and their story, Squash on Fire, all the other SDOs and what they're doing in a humanitarian way, the route to the Olympics, just the inspirational speakers that we had, all the outdoor court stuff that's getting developed around the world. It was an inspirational day, and suddenly we're building networks. So I met Adriana, who's the head of the Squash Foundation, at that event. She heard about what we were doing. She's like, "I want to help you. I'm going to send down a media team." And from then on, we had a relationship with them. They were liking what we were doing because it's nice and big and visible. We're certainly creating a lot of impact for women and girls in England. And so we continued talking to them, how they could help us. They've helped us with the courses. And then this year we had a call with them, and they said they'd like us to be part of their Squash for Development organisations, and so they can. So they've had a bit of a rebrand and a bit of a strategy change, so they can now help their Squash for Development organisations, because that has really grown around the world, and they're having such amazing impact on a lot of different cultures. And so they're going to funnel their resources into the Squash for Development organisations. So yeah, we're proud to be part of that global network, and looking forward to working with them.
So I know you mentioned it with additional media support. What other support are they providing you to help, grow Girls in Motion?
Yeah, that's good. We just had a conversation with them a couple of weeks ago, actually, to see where we could get support from them that's going to have the most impact. And through that conversation, it was definitely the media support, carrying on with that, and also bid writing support as well. Because although we've had corporate funding for our first year, we want to make sure that we're much more sustainable financially going on, and this will be in investing time and money into making sure that we've got time and money later on. So there is a period of that coming up within the charity where we might not do as much outward looking stuff, but there'll be a lot of building up, making sure that we're sustainable so we can deliver things going forward. So yeah, they're gonna support us with that as well, which will be really, really useful and really impactful.
So 2026 looks like it's going to be a big year then.
Yeah. So just in the midst of my next 3-year strategy of what we want to deliver, we are ambitious at Girls in Motion. We do like to aim big. So we're having a little downtime because I might have put in a few too many events in autumn 2025. I got a bit tired, so having a little downtime. while we plan out next year and the following years. But it's going to look like our big events such as the junior meets, the Women's Squash Festival that we did in September alongside International Women's Squash Week. That's the meeting of not only on court, but also all your off court items as well for the women. So we had physio, racket restringing, a PT, we had England squash there, we had 3 or 5 doing apparel for us as well, and many more, who just showed the world of squash to women who play squash, enjoy it, have an inkling that there might be some other bits to it, but yeah, we could show them that, and they could talk to the people, mainly women, who do these off-court activities as well, and it is for them. So you could tell them about the racket restringing, even just a grip. Like it sounds a bit strange, but if you don't know you can change your grip, you don't know you can do it. So yeah, we had just showing you how to change your grip, things like that.
Yeah, I say I've just restring a racket for somebody, and they were telling me of somebody within their club who, whenever the strings break, they just buy a new racket, because he doesn't occur to him to get them restrung.
Yeah,
that's another avenue in squash is affordability. Well, if you get a decent racket for 60-70 quid and the strings break, well, restringing is like 15-20 quid.
Yeah, but you don't know it, and
if you don't know,
men don't know it as well. But I think, especially as a woman, it's just not on your radar. That, especially if you're new to squash, you wouldn't know. You've probably got a second-hand racket anyway that you found in the back of the cupboard, and then don't get me onto single dot yellow balls as well. So banned double dot yellow balls from all Girls Emotions events. I think it's completely inappropriate for the level of squash that we're aiming for participation. So
that is something I want to talk about, because that is also a passion of mine. So how I do with my juniors is I've got a structure of the balls, and they have to pass a certain level in order to progress to move up to the next ball. So if they're in the blue dot group, they are not allowed to play with any ball other than the blue dot. If they are in the single dot, they are not allowed to play with anything other than the single dot. But they have to progress through it.
Yeah.
And I think you see so many people, like there's 2 women who I haven't been able to coax to come to one of our nights yet. But I know they're playing with a 2-dot ball, and they should not be playing with a 2-dot ball. And, they come like, I could see at the start they were coming every week because they were coming directly after our junior sessions. Then I could see it sort of like whittling down, and I couldn't help but think, I bet if they just had a bouncier ball, so they could actually have a rally, then hopefully they'll find it a bit more enjoyable. But
yeah,
I'm glad you banned it.
Even for the good ones, they're not playing with it. I've had anecdotes from a woman who came to one of the festivals saying that she was about to give up squash, but then she played, because she'd been playing for years, but she's getting a bit old and she couldn't quite drive it as hard as she used to, and so she's only got a drop and a lob, and she's like, oh, this is no fun. I'm going to go and play tennis. So she wasn't going to go and sit on the sofa, so it was all right. But but then she played with a single yellow at one of our events, and suddenly she found she had a drive back. She had all these other shots back, and suddenly she can play again. And it was just a revelation to her. She was like, this just changed my course of the sport for me now, that I can actually continue playing. I'm like, yeah, there's a red dot as well. I think it's that stigma of like, well, I play squash, so I must play with a double yellow. I was the same. Like when I was starting off, I was like, well, I'm just as good as them. I can play with that as well. I don't want to be seen as the beginner woman that no one wants to play. So I'm going to play with the double yellow. But as I see it in the club as well, I'm like, half the men shouldn't be playing with a double yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're getting there. It's still, this is a big cultural changing this, and I think like everyone agrees, like it should be using the appropriate ball. It's just that culture change. So I'm getting there, but yeah, our events we're not having double yellow. Love collecting a bit of data as well. And I'd love to do a bit of a trial with the bounciness of the ball, just to demonstrate that you're not getting the bounce on the double yellow, and it is just a lot harder. I always hurt my elbow when I'm playing with a double yellow because I've got to try and hit it harder to get it past the line. So there's, in the women's leagues, this is a bit of a passion of mine at the moment, the women's leagues around the UK. I love women's leagues. I think it offers a great opportunity to play and meet loads of women and go to other clubs. And there's lots of women's only leagues around the UK. Did you know about this? Because it was very hard to find all this data, but collected data of women who played last year. And there's 16 active leagues in the UK.
Of women only leagues.
Do you know what? I say UK, I actually mean England. 16.
Yeah, definitely not in Wales.
Oh, right. I say UK then. 16 active leagues of varying sizes. Some have only like 4 clubs. Some have some a lot bigger with 15 clubs, something like that. And within those, there was 1,024 unique players within those leagues playing last year. And when you look at the level of the women within it, the average female squash player in leagues last year had a squash level of 400.
Right. Okay.
So
it's not double dot.
It's not a double dot. So, I mean, even so, obviously, then you've got the end of the bell curve, which is people like Georgina Kennedy, who's playing in league. You know, maybe she could play, but
yeah, I think she might get away with it.
So we'll let her play with it. But then that's the middle of the bell curve. So then you've got all the other way, which is pretty much from 0 to 400, and then you've still got quite enough before you get to say 1,000, 2,000, the other end as well. So I think it's just showing the ability level within the leagues isn't the same as the mixed leagues, and that's why a lot of women don't play in the mixed leagues, because they don't feel that they can compete in it. Or you're playing with a man who's just started playing squash, and that style of squash is
dangerous. Dangerous is the word you're looking for.
Dangerous, and a bit different to a woman who's been playing for 30 years. And I think, just while I'm on squash levels, I think squash levels has been absolutely fantastic for creating visibility within women's squash as well. To me, it's the data set of my dreams, where I can actually demonstrate to women where they are in ability, so they can actually see that they can compete. You know, I think at the beginning I said I had to convince women that a beginners women competition was for them. That's one of them where I had someone come in and go, I don't think I'm good enough, Sally. And I point at squash levels and go, you're 149 squash levels. I've got people in here who don't even have a squash level, and also other people who've entered that, and you're in the middle of that. You know, the whole point of the competition was it's under 300 squash levels. So you're definitely, and I think it's been absolutely fantastic data source to show ability, but also demonstrate that women's league does look different to mixed league. It's not the same. You're not going to get the same standards all the way through, and so those 0 to 400 does need to look a bit different. Within the league I play in now, for this year we started a beginners division, and I think it's been good. It's very early days, but within that we redesigned it so it was like low bar entry. It was, you play once a month, you play in a team of 3, you're in a box with 2 other teams, and you all meet up in one venue together. So if there's a risk that you're going to have a really bad game, you know, when you like can't return someone's serve, you've got another one. You probably have another all right game on that one. You get to meet more people from more clubs, but then the travel distance, well, try to keep the travel distance minimal. You can't always do that, but where the clubs are located. But and you know what? It had such a great uptake. We had 15 teams enter for this new division. We had Lancaster Uni, St Anne's, and 315 Squash all create a whole new division of their own. That increases the geography of the whole league. You know, it's a whole new area coming to life for women's squash. It's just been amazing to see.
Yeah, no, definitely very exciting to, like you said, people creating, you know, something brand new to, you know, to join in and give more accessibility and, you know, just more opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm conscious of time because I know obviously you've got other meetings as well, and there's a couple of other things I want to touch on as well. I want to sort of talk more about like the more human story. So is there any examples that have sort of like really hit you emotionally? Like maybe somebody's told you something and you've got like, oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, that's I mean, it is. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It is very human. It is about those stories. The woman I was talking about with a single yellow is my favorite story of like how you can change, how something can change. There's when I did the Women's Squash Festival and that was the one at the Manchester PSA Open at the Squash Centre. So that was run alongside the professionals. I think it's such a lovely synergy for an event to run next door, and we always like to have that next bit of visibility of going, what next, and that's the big leap, isn't it, to professional squash players, and you can actually watch the female professional squash players as well. Anyway, I had a comment from someone, some feedback on the day from that, from this woman who is a coach, and she's come all the way up from London, which is fantastic. And she said she was like, oh, I wouldn't have come if this was called a competition. I only came because it was called a festival, and I wouldn't have had the confidence to enter a competition. Like, and it was only really by accident I called it a festival over a competition. It wasn't super thoughtful on my part that I called it a festival, but that language was so important to her that she wouldn't have had the confidence, even though she plays squash, and I think she was about 500 squash levels. You know, she wasn't rubbish. That really hit home that the language we use is so important to people when you don't even realizing it. And when I realized I hadn't given it any thought, and I only called it a festival because I added some coaching in, and it wasn't just a competition. I didn't call it a competition. So that really made me stop and think, and also that she felt she could come and be part of it was amazing. Just the language.
Yeah, like I say, it's one word that's made one change. It's made such a big difference in just that one person. Have you had any of like the young girls or teenage girls say anything that you're like, oh, I didn't think I'd be able to impact somebody like that, or that I didn't think girls' emotion would, you know, have that level of impact?
I think it's with the young girls, they just get on with it, don't they? And I think it's then seeing, especially the young ones, that they don't see any of those cultural barriers. They don't have them. like they're just like, yeah, of course I can play squash, and of course I can do this. And like, oh right, I didn't realize you already thought like this. It's like, let's harness this, because and let me not tell you all the reasons why you can't play. So yeah, that's lovely. But also, what I really love with the girls, especially the teenage girls, is that when they come with their mums, I think that is so beautiful as well. So it does require the mum to, actually no, I think some of them make their mums come, and some of the mums make them come. And there's a few groups of these couples with the mum and the daughter, especially like a teenage daughter, and it really it makes them have, first of all, something together. So they are doing it together. One of them's generally more invested in the other and encouraging the other. And I think that's then going to keep them in. It's all right saying going to make friends, and you need your friends in squash, but they're friends, their mum. And I think that's the surprising bit as well, where it holds the family together as well within a sport.
Yeah, so sport is a very powerful tool for bringing people and, like families together, whether it's squash or like my wife always telling me about just going for walks with her dad. Those, they're just long walks, but it's an activity you do together with the familial, family. Like when I used to go squash when I was just starting, it'd be me, my mother, and my sister would go. But even when I got to the point when I was above them, they'd still go together. So that mother-daughter still at least doing something.
Yeah. I do karate with my daughter, actually. So
that's surely asking for trouble if she's not eating all the food, or if she's not cleaned her bedroom. Mum didn't listen to me.
That's it. She beats me up every Wednesday.
She gets her frustrations out.
That's it. I get kicked and punched every Wednesday.
When do you make a run ragged on a squash court?
Yeah, not so much anymore. But
maybe that's why she's gone more into coaching. She's like, I can beat her up on Wednesdays and she can't make me run no more.
That's it. It's all right. It's all right. Beat her up back. It's fine.
So what, you go back looking at Girls in Motion now compared to day one, what are you most proud of?
Oh my God, where do I start? Like it's exceeded all expectations. Just the amount of people who have been involved in it, who want to support us, who want to promote what we do. It's just been incredible. So I think just those things. I'm really proud of all the events we do, and a lot of work goes into them. And I think the Women's Squash Festival I did in September was really ambitious, and I'm really proud of what we achieved there. Although it was an exceptional amount of hard work, so I'm not sure exactly the payoff. But I think in terms of proud, I think it's the networks that we're building, and it's not just the networks with organizations such as the United Squash Foundation, who are fantastic and supportive, and their global reach is incredible, but I'm also part of a group of women, and we've got a WhatsApp group. That's how we communicate, and we have Teams call once a month called the Women's Squash Collective, and it's a networking group for women in squash and promoting ideas and sharing contacts and everything. And that's been really instrumental in taking ideas from others, in growing my network. When I need to contact someone, it's like, who I need to talk to so and so about this, or is there anyone doing this? This is that network that's getting me that information that I'm learning from every day, just in a WhatsApp group, and then talking to Squash Foundation and then every club I talk to, every coach I talk to, every league I talk to, it's all just growing and generally met with positivity and in what we do, and everyone wants to, and everyone believes in it and wants to push it forward as well. I think that's great. So I think most thing proud of is that building those networks that we'll continue to do, and building visibility in women's squash.
And now I've got only 2 questions left before I let you go, because I know you've got a meeting soon. Obviously, Girls in Motion will be on for 3 years now. Would you see the next 3 years happening? And what's the goal for, even beyond those extra 3 years as well?
Yeah, so 3-year strategy, almost ready.
Almost ready. Just give me the headlines.
No, so planned events, lots more planned events. I think we're happy with the events that we've currently trialed. So don't expect any brand new concept coming out for the next few years. It'd be delivering events in a way that we're listening to women, from what they've fed back from other events, and be tweaks to them, but it'll be generally this. And those events look like the junior meets, the women's squash festival, and the very lovely beginner to intermediate women's competition that we run with the Northern for the last 2 years, which has been hugely successful in getting women building their confidence in the sport, in competition especially. So that's within a competition tier. We want to really focus efforts on working a lot more with other clubs and other regions to deliver other external events, which they could look like ours, or they could develop their own, and we'd be happy working with them on that. So I want to see over the next 3 years, 10 clubs, regions deliver something, a Girls in Motion event. We want to support more women through qualifications, so we'll be raising another fund to support more women. In terms of supporting clubs in setting up women's only sessions, we are developing an underwriting model that we can assist then financially to make sure that that is sustainable in the early days, because that's a real risky period where you don't quite have the traction, you don't have the 6 to 8 women turning up. So you might not have enough to pay the coach. So we're developing an underwriting model where we'd offer a certain fund that the clubs will be able to draw down on if they're not getting those numbers. But then if they're not getting the numbers, we'll be certainly getting in contact and making sure that we're supporting them to get those numbers, because that's what we want. We want it to be sustainable. We don't want to just give a fund of, say, 500 quid and say, right, see you later. That's not going to work. That's been tried and it doesn't work. You need to make sure that you've got that constant support and sustainability. Women's leagues, as I mentioned, big passion of mine. So we want to develop our relationships and the visibility of all the leagues. So within our website that we've got now finally up and running, we do have information on all the leagues within the country, and we'd love to develop that further. And I'd also vision for the future is to unite the leagues, so we can all actually support and see what each other are doing, help each other grow. There's no reason why these can't be really big, successful leagues for all women. Squash is so easy to just drop in and out of. It fits with a woman's work. It fits with the calendar. It can be 40 minutes or a whole evening. It's like, be what you want it to be. It takes away all the distractions, what you're cooking for dinner for the kids, what happened in that meeting this morning. Just get rid of it all. You're on and off. You don't have to worry about the weather. It's perfect for women. It's absolutely perfect sport. So I'd love to get the leagues together and do a big League Cup, like a real huge event to celebrate all of women's league squash. So yeah, lots to come. Really
lots to come. All sounds very, very exciting. And then for anybody listening to this, they want to get more involved, or maybe they're thinking of creating their own sort of similar environment, what's the first step they should take? And do you want to give a bit of information about how they can get in contact with yourself and Girls in Motion as well?
Yeah, so first step is just do it. You don't have to wait for permission. No one's going to give you it. Just do it. I say, ask for forgiveness, not permission. That's that's how you get things done in any part of life. So yeah, just take those steps. If you want to do something, just do it. Yeah, if you want to get in touch with Girls in Motion, we love talking about squash. I think I've talked about squash for about an hour and 20 minutes there. So yeah, please get in contact. We've got our website up and running with all the contact details on. So that's girlsinmotion.org.uk.
That's great. Thank you very much for your time, Sally. And I'm sure we'll be in contact soon whenever your next event is as well.
Brilliant. Thanks, Shaun.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
And that wraps up this episode of Serving Up with Sally Archibald from Girls in Motion. Brilliant conversation about what real inclusion looks like, how to keep women and girls in the sport, and how simple changes from language to coaching to the right ball can transform someone's experience on the court. If you want to learn more, support the charity, or bring Girls in Motion style event to your club, head to girlsinmotion.org.uk and reach out to them. After this conversation with Sally, it was announced that she was the winner of the England Squash Diversity and Inclusion Award for 2025. And from our conversation, you can see how passionate she is to get more and more people involved in the sport. Huge thank you to our partners at All Over UK. Racket pioneers since 1938. And if you're an England Squash member, you can get 20% off by just finding your code in your membership portal. And as always, the ACC Leisure will help you secure the future of leisure in the UK. If you need any court needs, whether that's squash, multi-sport, flooring, anything at all, please reach out to them by going to ACC Leisure and going directly to their website. And their support, both Oliver and ACC, help shine a light on the people who are helping move racket sports forward. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time at Serving Up. We speak to Emma Kimber, who's the founder of the Badeka magazine, the UK's largest paddle magazine, and where the growth of paddle is going in the future. I'll see you next time. Take care.